Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Karen and I'm here to share all things homeschooling, motherhood, marriage, lifestyle, all sorts of things. I'm interested in a lot of things that I want to share with you, and I love to read. So I plan on sharing things I learn out of the books I read. Maybe we can have interesting discussions in the chat. Maybe we'll create a book club. I don't know. Although book clubs, I've never joined one. That idea I love the idea, but it stresses me out to think I have to read this book in this period of time. I don't know if that's for me, but I'll share with you the things I'm learning. Today I wanted to share with you my planning for the 2021-2022 homeschool year. Sorry, the neighbor's dog is whining. Hopefully you can't hear that. My daughter Peyton is 10 and she'll be in the equivalent of 5th grade. It's just easier to say that, even though we don't really have to pay attention to grades, as you know, in homeschool. So 5th grade, which is so weird. They grow so fast. So I'm going to share with you my process for how I chose the curriculum for this year. I did that in June, kind of May and June. This will be our 3rd year of homeschooling. So far what I've done is I do some kind of pre-testing, and around March see how we're doing. And then in May or June, we do the end of the year testing. In Minnesota, we do have to test once a year, although you don't have to turn it into anyone. You just need to do it. And it is useful. I don't really care what the schools are doing per se, but it is a good tool to see maybe some areas where I could focus on a little more or less. It's a helpful guideline, I guess. So yes, I will share with you how I chose, and I ordered everything already. So then now we're coming up on August. Now in August, I'll sit down and look through everything that arrived and make a list of anything I need to buy, make a very loose structure. I'll show you how I do that. I don't write down day by day, this is what we're doing that day, because we just don't work that way. And I definitely never write anything in pen. Only pencil. So I'll have a rough idea kind of what my plans are for the year. That's very loose. And then kind of per semester. And then each Sunday I just kind of take the semester, I break it down by month, and then on Sunday I see, what do we want to do this week? What else is going on in our lives this week? And just loosely I'll write in pencil kind of what the idea is for the week. Pencil, for a reason. Because then I also do a lot of reverse planning. At the end of the day, I go back and look, what did we do and not do? I either cross it off or draw arrows or just erase it and move it over if we never got to it. Or a lot of days we'll get to extra stuff that count as education. And again, we don't have to keep records like that technically here, but I'm going to anyway, and I like to for myself, so we can see what have we done and to look back on over the years. And you think you'll remember all these things, but you won't. And then if, the world's always changing, and you never know what'll happen with homeschooling and changing of rules, so I just prefer to have more than I need as opposed to try to recreate it later. So I do reverse planning as well, which is just writing down what we did. And that's what I'm doing just loosely this summer too. I'm not paying a lot of attention to that, but if there are certain days where there really is, this is really great learning stuff today, or great, lots of physical activity in the summer for kids, which is awesome, but I'm just jotting that down like once or twice a week, just for myself. Nobody else needs that. So anyway, I'll walk you through how I did that, and maybe that'll be 2 different videos, come to think of it, of the first part of how I chose things and how I do my research, and finally just decide, and then secondly, what I do with it once I get it, and to map things out for the year. So thanks for joining me today. Hey guys. Okay, I'm back to show you today what I do with all that curriculum that I showed you that I have chosen. I'll insert a photo here. So now what I have is a list of all the different curriculum that I'm going to at least start with and use possibly sometime throughout the year. Remember again that this is not done every day. This is not done all year long. Some of it is, like teaching textbooks. That'll be every day, all year long. For math, math and language arts are the core subjects we do every day. And then I kind of use a loop schedule to rotate science, history, fine arts. So I use a loop schedule, which just means rotating, basically, a rotating schedule for some of the other things, which I can show you another time. I don't have everything completely figured out yet. That's what I'm doing right now, and I'm just sharing some of it with you. And I see there's a really strange reflection there from the light above, but that's what you get with a glass table. So sorry about that. So what I do now is I have a list of everything. I grab one book at a time. You find an empty page here. I actually have done most of this already, but I'll show you how it would work. I have a couple of her curriculum here to show you examples of how I do this. So this is Song School Spanish, which I'm excited about. Again, this is for actually younger kids. Kindergarten through second grade, I believe it is. Yes, K2, but I don't know, my daughter and myself, we just like, oh, this isn't the student one, so it's not as cute, but we just like photos and pictures and colorful things and more interesting pages. So I don't care what age it says. This is going to work well for my daughter. So I take each book and I read all the introductory stuff in the beginning, which usually is some information about the course, help for teachers or parents, additional materials you might need, things to gather, and just any extra information. So I read all of this, and then I highlighted anything important. For example, additional resources, I just highlighted things I might want. You don't ever need everything these things suggest. The Spanish Amigo match, I had already purchased, so I highlighted that. And now here it says to download the MP3 files of all of the vocabulary being pronounced. Where's my little notebook? So while I do this, I keep a notebook of things to do. So I did write that. Where is it? Copy and laminate the characters in Spanish. Uh-oh, did I not write that down? I kind of try to divide things up here by subject. Oh, I missed that. Download. Let's get on the screen here. My shorthand you might not understand. Download MP3 files. So you'll see on here, I need to copy and try out my new fancy laminator. I'm excited about that. I might end up skipping that. These little characters, these guys, you get to use. Download files. For science, I have more things I need to do. Create a science wall or a board. Cut out vocabulary cards. So as I'm looking through each book, I just make a list, a running list of things I need to do to prepare. So I keep that right by me. And usually as you go along in any of these books, they'll get to a part where they suggest how many days a week or how long it'll take, semester or a year, or however you'd like to do it. So this one, it says we generally recommend a 3 to 4 day rhythm of 10 to 20 minutes each. Now you can do it. This is even for if you're doing it in school. If you have a class once a week, do it for about 45 to 60 minutes. So you could do that in your homeschool as well. You can do whatever you want. But I would think for learning a language, it even says in here as well, shorter bursts more often work better. So it depends on the subject and your kiddo. Then they have here a sample of what day 1, day 2, and day 3 could look like if you did it 3 days a week. And so I would write on my other notebook, all right, Spanish, and I think I'll write 3 times a week. And what did it say? 10 to 20 minutes? Yes. So this doesn't mean this is what I'm going to do. It's just recommended. And then the other thing I do is typically I'll write down the number of lessons in the whole program, course. I keep saying program. There are 31 chapters. Sometimes there'll be an extra pre-test or post-test and all sorts of reviews and things like that. So they're all different, but this one is 31. I'm just going to put that over here because that helps me later on. So I know for us, we are doing a 34-week year. So that will help me roughly divide everything up. This isn't anything where I'm writing Monday, September 15th, if that's a Monday, we are doing this, this, and this. That's not what this is. This is just for me to get a rough plan for the trimester or semester, whichever one you do, or year, an overview of what we're going to try to do in the year. This way I know for science, for example, we're going to do mammals in the fall, space in the winter, and earth in the spring. And then I look at my calendar. Let me grab that. Planner. I love planners. This is the, oops. I don't know if you can see that. Moxie Life, goal setting and weekly planner. I try pretty much a different one every year. I do like the Erin Condren planners. I would like to try the Plum paper planner next year, I think. Let me know if you're a planner addict like I am. I have a different one that I use for homeschool that I will share another time. So I went to the annual spread. I'm not usually a big sticker girl, but I don't know, I got some free stickers, and so I decided to try it out. So this year what I did, we're actually going to start August 30th, which I'm kind of nervous about. For me, back to school time is after Labor Day, always. It's just what it was my whole life. I love the fall. I love that time of year, and I also love summer and the summer break. So far we've been sticking with the local public school schedule because all of Peyton's friends go to school, and so every year I print out, now it's different schools, one district but different schools for her friends, so I do print out their schedules and I keep them and I mark when they start, when they end in the spring, and when all their breaks are. So I try to coordinate some of that just because it makes it easier if, oh, Sophie's off for a week and I have to do school and they're next door neighbors, and it just creates conflict we don't need. So if we're going to be taking time off anyways, I try to coordinate with her friends as much as possible. So her friends actually start earlier, two of her friends, on August 30th. The others start a week later after Labor Day, which is, like I said, what I'm used to. But what we figured out is we're going to do just a light start that first week, the end of August. Otherwise I couldn't figure out how to get in enough math was really the main thing. And there again, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to continue each year. But I would prefer to not have it go too far into, say, 11th grade. I'm trying to encourage her to want to get more done now each year so she can be done earlier in high school, because it is definitely her least favorite thing to do. But I know kids don't think like that, and neither do most of us adults. So with that August 30th start, I broke down the weeks. We want to be done Memorial Weekend. We haven't done that the first 2 years. We ended up going a week or maybe two past, but all of her friends were still in school that she had at that time anyways, so that worked. This year we're starting a week earlier, and we're going to try to end Memorial Weekend, but I just always know the backup is if we want or need to go 1 or 2 weeks into June just to wrap some things up, that's fine. I'll keep pointing to July. June's over here. So with 34 weeks, you can't evenly divide that by 3, obviously. So I am doing 12 weeks in the fall, and then 11 in the winter, and 11 in the spring. Because it just worked very nicely to squeeze in 12 before Thanksgiving. that was my process of thinking there. And we're going 2 weeks into December. I mean, this week will be probably fairly light, to be honest, because last year we started doing sort of Christmas school, which was really fun. We did decorating and shopping and wrapping and baking, and we also did 2 different Christmas unit studies, one from campfire curriculums, which I highly recommend, and one from Gather Round. So we did both of those spread throughout December. There was an overlap there, of course, so I didn't completely redo something we already did, but they were quite different as well. So I couldn't decide and bought them both. And I think Campfire Curriculums is a brand new one this coming December. I'll have to check that out and I'll share that with you. But that was really fun. We will, still be doing some math and language arts here. And then the rest of December, we typically, along with Christmas school, we'll still do our read alouds, and I'm not exactly sure what else at this point. So anyway, that's roughly how I came up with the 34 weeks. I'm just going to call it fall, winter, spring. This one's 12 weeks, this one's 11, and this one's 11. For a total of 34, according to my math. Okay, so that's the Spanish one, and just to show you one other example, we have the Good and Beautiful History. There's a total of 60 lessons. Good and Beautiful History. And this, I'm assuming, is intended to be an all-year thing. I believe it is. So I already read this. I did this stuff yesterday, but I just wanted to share with you without walking you through all of it. Again, I highlighted things I needed to do. Like here, I need to print her Student Explorer. So I added that to my to-do list. They have some audio recordings. I marked on my to-do list to check if that's something I should download, or maybe we'll just access it as we want it. Here it is. They recommend 2 lessons per week to take the whole school year. If you're teaching older kids, grades 6 and above, they recommend 3 lessons a week because there's additional work to do that you can add in for your older children. Each lesson is designed to take around 60 minutes, and that includes 20 minutes of the read aloud book. It does say you will need more than that to get through the read alouds, though. So what I did was I wrote down, let's see, approximately 60 minutes, 2 times a week. Let's see here, plus reading, so I remember that we'll need actually more time than that for reading. So let's say I have these all done, which I do, and I won't bore you with that. It is, where is it? That's not it. Maybe I passed it. Here we go. So this is a little messy for you to read, but it's exactly what I was just showing you. Teaching textbooks level 4, and then we'll be able to get into level 5 as well. I wrote how many approximately of those will get done this year. Granted, there's illnesses and just mental health days and things like that, so we will see. So I have my whole list of number of lessons, time, if they mention how much time it might take, and then over here roughly how many days a week I think I'm going to do it. And don't try to understand my scribbles here, just get the basic concept. So you need to just have your master list. Then what I do, you can totally do this on scratch paper, and I eventually put it in a spreadsheet because I like spreadsheets. But you just do this on paper, just write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or maybe you're doing fun Fridays. We tried that last year and we just never really did it. We had so many times where we didn't get to things these other days that we needed Friday. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try that again, or do like a lighter load on Friday, something like that. So then what I did now, this is just all the different language arts types of things I might do throughout the year. I might have overdone it. Partnership writing and Writer's Jungle things. I haven't figured out yet. I might sprinkle those in throughout the year. I might sprinkle them in maybe the second half of the year, depending on how these things go. We'll see. They're resources that I do really like and I want to use. I'm just not sure when yet. So read alouds, that would be every day. Language lessons for living education, we're going to do that every day. I believe those are pretty short. The rest, you know, put a little gap here, are going to be rotated. And I'm marking it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but really I'll have to show you in another one. It's going to be more of a loop schedule where as you can see, I put 2 of them for each day, and it'll just rotate. And the reason you do the rotating instead of saying Tuesday we do this is for us it just happens so much where our day gets interrupted, or someone's sick, or where there's a cool field trip opportunity. Well, not in this last year, but hopefully this year that'll happen more. Or maybe we need to go help a family member, whatever the case may be. It just didn't work for me to say Tuesday's this, Thursday's that. So that's why the loop rotating works for me, because if you get interrupted on Tuesday, then Wednesday you have that block schedule, you just jump right back in the next thing on the list. So if you're not familiar with the loop schedule or block scheduling, they can be used together very well. I can show you that in another video. But this is just the scratch paper of figuring out, okay, how many things do I have here, and how many days a week do they recommend, or how many days a week would I want to do each of these things. A lot of it is just completely your choice. So far I was thinking, these extra enrichment sorts of things of language arts, if I do 2 of them each day, I think that would work well, because they're all shorter things, and they each help with overlapping different things: spelling, grammar, typing, creative writing. I want to make sure to spend some time on writing this year. We didn't a whole lot really last year, and that's where I might add in more of the Brave Writer stuff. But this is just a place to start. So from this, I will come up with just a rough schedule for everything, for not only Monday through Friday, but times of the year. Again, because science, we're splitting up 1 unit study at a time. Yes, so I hope that makes sense. This isn't the completed plan. I can come back and share that. I'll do that. I'm going to go and sit down and finish our actual plan, and then I'll hop back right in here and add it right here to share what I have come up with from this process. So I'll be back.